Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today we are talking about a ship that is, for some time, has been pretty criminally underrated to quite an extreme degree. And yes, it is the ship you're watching on screen right now, the Tier 8 Techline British battleship, the Monarch. Now, the Monarch is considered by many to be one of, if not the worst Tier 8 battleship in game, and there's some very good, some very strong arguments for that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best Tier 8 battleship that's been, just conspired against for years or anything like that. I'm here to tell you it's a lot better than what it's made out to be. I would say it's a pretty darn decent Tier 8 battleship, all in all. Now, of course, what it's strong in, it does pay a pretty heavy price for it, and that's what we're going to be discussing today. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, one of its biggest downsides is its survivability. This is quite literally a King George V hull up tier to tier 8, which ain't that great at all. It's a tier 7 hull at tier 8. Yeah. So for the armor layout, it's got a 32mm nose. Now, compare this to the King George V, and that obviously has been improved from a 26mm hull at tier 7. Now, if it had a 26mm hull at tier 8, then yeah, I would say its strong sides would not make up for that. But the armor scheme is the same, but it has been increased a little bit all the way around. So, since you have a 32mm bow, you do of course have a 32mm upper belt, and its stern is 32mm as well. Its stern deck is 32, its main deck is 32, and its bow deck is 32 as well. Its armor belt is 381mm, and it does have the same citadel that the King George V has. Citadel main belt is 356mm of armor. It is below the waterline, but it's not very far below the waterline. It's not an incredibly hard ship to Citadel if it's maneuvering especially. Alright. Now, its hit points, 60,500. And if you've played the King George V, that should sound pretty darn familiar to you, because it is the same amount of hit points that the King George V gets. So, yeah, tier 7 hit points with a tier 7 armor scheme with, thankfully, thicker armor. So, yeah, not a lot of hit points, but at least the armor is thicker. Torpedo protection damage reduction is 22%. So, with being absolutely coated in 32 and being a tier 8 ship, you're going to be up tier to tier 10. At tier 10, there's plenty of cruisers and battleship secondaries that can pin, well, your bow, your upper armor belt, and your deck. So that doesn't bode well for you. On top of that, too, you have tier 7 hit points, 60,500, which means that not only will those HE shells be starting fires and be draining your ship a lot quicker, they're going to be pinning your armor and just chipping away at your health that much quicker because you have tier 7 hit points. So, what makes up for that? Well, it's guns. So, the Monarch has what I believe was originally planned for the King George V class, which was the 9 15-inch guns. But I believe, I don't remember if it was because of the naval treaty or because of cost, they scaled that down to the quad 14-inch guns and then the single dual 14-inch gun, or if this was a planned upgrade to the King George V. There was one of those two things. I do remember reading about that. So, you get 9 15-inch guns, 381mm guns, with British BB HE and British BB AP. So you have good HE Alpha and good HE Fire chance, but for the AP you get short fuse AP, which means you won't be really slapping the crap out of other battleship citadels. But if you do know what part of the ships to aim at, so ideally the upper belt and the bow and the stern, with that short fuse time, you will be pinning those parts of the ship and not overpinning them nearly as much as you would with, let's say, Bismarck's guns. So that's good and bad. You get more consistent AP damage, but you can't, punch the crap out of other battleships unless it's like extreme close range or if it's a thinly armored battleship. But the AP isn't really the superstar here, it's the HE. So with these 9 15-inch guns, you get a 25-second reload time. That's really freaking good. Bismarck has a 25-second reload time, but it has 8 15-inch guns. This gets 9, and they're a lot more accurate than the Bismarcks. Now, are they the most accurate guns in the world? No, by no stretch of the imagination are they, but they're far from terrible. You get 234 meters of maximum dispersion with a range of 19.2 kilometers. This is with my build on. Should have popped up at the beginning. I'll throw it up on screen right here for you too. So do keep that in mind. This is the build I would recommend you run a Monarch either way. So the HE shells. The HE shells have a maximum damage of 6,300. You get a 35% chance of starting a fire with 9 shells every 25 seconds. You can pin 95 millimeters of armor. And the HE and AP both come out the tubes at 836 meters a second. AP maximum damage is 11,900. So with these shells, with these 15-inch guns, these 9 15-inch guns that are great at starting a fire, you can excel where many a Tier 8 battleship cannot. And that's when you get up-tiered. So when you get up-tiered in a cruiser or a DD, it's not the worst thing in the world because your whole thing, as most cruisers and DDs, unless it's like the German DD split or the British light cruisers, you still have your good HE DPM to fall back on when you get up tier to tier 10 because higher tier, fire doesn't care about armor. Got my words mixed up there. Fire doesn't care about armor. You can still set fires and burn ships. Battleships, in most cases, Tier 8 battleships aren't the best flamethrowers, so you still have to depend on your AP. And most Tier 8 battleships' guns can't really hang in there too well at Tier 10 when, dealing with Tier 10 armor, especially against Tier 10 battleships, and let alone some of the Tier 10 cruisers we get now that are better armored than some battleships like Petropavlovsk. So they really struggle, and when you want to switch over to HE, most Tier 8 battleships aren't that great at that. Like, freaking Bismarck with HE is terrible. The North Carolina is pretty good because of the accuracy of its guns and such. But, some better than others is what I'm trying to say. But the Monarch is fantastic at that. With its 25-second base reload on its guns and 35% chance of starting a fire on 9 shells, along with the British BB HE Alpha. So when you get up to it in the Monarch, you're actually pretty well off. With, of course, the exception of your armor scheme and your low hit pool. But with the Monarch, it's great at going to a flank and just absolutely murdering anybody that wants to push into it. You don't have to have the best armor in the world to be an off-flank kiter, which is something the Monarch is very good at. And, again, armor nor tier is bothered by fires. No, fire's not bothered by armor or tier. God, man. I need to sleep more, y'all. So you can burn down tier 9, tier 10 ships quite easily with this. On top of that, too, this ship's great against DDs. Especially DDs that, forget that you're a British battleship and you have British BBHE. They try to get a little bit too close to you and you just annihilate most of their health with this HE. It's really funny to watch when it happens. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen in the match you're watching right now. But if you're watching stream last night, you got to see us make some DD's health go poof a couple of times. AA, it's tier 8 AA. If you get up to tier 10, it have an A rating of 75. It is British AA, so it is fairly decent at what it does. In this match you're watching right now, I did wind up getting 2 planes away from getting clear skies. Maximum speed, 29.4 knots. Not the fastest tier 8 battleship, but not the slowest either. It's enough to keep up, and that is with the speed flag equipped. You have a turning circuit radius of 790 meters and a rudder shift time of 15 seconds. Its other major strong suit is right here with its concealment. With a concealment build on this ship, with the module and the commander skill equipped, you have an 11.5 kilometer concealment range. 11.5! You out-conceal a lot of cruisers at that range. Cruisers that you can see, that is. 11.5 kilometer conceal on a battleship. With this good HE, this nice reload time. It's wonderful. You can absolutely determine when you want to be engaged and when you want to leave, and that definitely helps make up for how spongy and how squishy this ship is. Does it completely make up for it? Of course not. But the ability to choose when you want to just leave a fight is a great one, and one that you definitely want to take advantage of, especially when you're in a tier 8 battleship in a tier 10 game. And that's definitely not the norm for tier 8 battleships at all. Most tier 8 battleships still have terrible concealment. Once you start to get to tier 9, that's when it kind of starts to chill out for most lines. But all in all, this makes the Monarch a very sneaky, a very annoying battleship for the enemy team. It's great at damage farming. The match you're watching right now, I've probably been jumping around a little bit in editing because I don't want to sit here and make you watch the whole 20-minute match. I had a fantastic round in terms of getting damage, and it's a profitable ship too. Now, granted, I do have the it's not anything special from a normal premium camo, but it is considered a premium camo. I do have the anniversary camo on the Monarch, so it is a bit better than the normal premium camo, but it's just in terms of the free XP. So there's a bit of a boost to the free XP at the end of this match from the camo, but other than that, the other rewards, it's with the normal camo and signal flags equipped, and not the super special signal flags either. So it's a pretty good farmer, and it can make your grind up through the British battleship line quite quick, but I wouldn't toss it to the side afterwards. I would keep it in port. It's nice shit to break out every now and then. And this is in a mixed tier 9 to 7 game that you're watching right now, so definitely not a worst case scenario. But again, remember, HE is a consistent type of ammunition. You get consistent damage with HE, especially when you can set fires at the rate that Monarch can set fires. So in a tier 10 game, you can still do this pretty easily. Now, of course, no two matches are exactly the same, so things happen in this match, which definitely helps me get a higher damage score than others, but I'm sure, as most of you are familiar, British BBHE is no joke. Now, the range, 19.1 kilometers, you can kind of fix that. You can equip the spotter aircraft if you want to do so. That will get your range out over 20 kilometers, which will help you hang in tier 10 matches even more. So, at the end of the day, is this some, super secret ship that the world's been conspiring against that has been like an absolutely fantastic ship? No, it's not that case. But it's a good ship. It's a very good ship. Is it the best tier 8 battleship? No. Is it the worst? In my opinion, most certainly not. It's far from the worst. She's a good little boat. I'd recommend, if you, like I said, if you grinded through her, I wouldn't throw her away right after getting your Lion. Just keep her around. She's a fun boat to break out every now and then. And if anything competitors at tier 8, it's a great ship for tier 8 competitive if you need an off-flank kiting battleship or something that just, will definitely be making the enemy team use their damage cons. So guys, that's my 2 cents on the Monarch, the Techline tier 8 British battleship. If you're wondering, yes, I do have the Baron. I'm just waiting to see if I can get a little bit better in her before I do a review in her. If I were to do a review right now, I don't feel like it would be a proper one. That's why we're talking about the Monarch today and not the Baron. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 35,000 subs, just past 31,200, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Hope you all have a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.